2008, COVID came along and turned us into somebody who we couldn't do interviews in our studio anymore, so we started doing them through this miracle technology called Zoom. Have you heard of it? Well, as a result, instead of being a local Central California regional talk show with authors, we're worldwide now. We get to talk to authors all over the world about their books and their work. Now, and by the way, not just authors, but publishers and coaches, people help you get your book published and the cover made and the pagination done. There's so much that goes into publishing a book. But my favorite part of the show is when we get to have an actual author on, somebody who's been down the road, went through all those steps, and actually got it done. So let's start by saying congratulations to Ann Clarke. You did it, Ann. Not only did you get it written, you got it published and out there.
As an independent author.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps, aren't there?
There is.
Yeah.
But I had the help of Vision Press in Canada.
Vision Press?
Yes.
Yeah. And by the way,
and they were great.
We are an international talk show. There you go, Canada. That's another country from us. And people are so nice there. That's all I know about Canada.
So are people in the States. I've been there many times.
Now, this book, I told you, earlier, I thought, we must be about the same age because you're covering my era. Tell us a little bit about the book and the era and things like that.
Well, the book came about because of my journals, decades-old journals that I had stuffed in a storage closet. And when I was retired from my job, when the pandemic hit, I was cleaning up my storage closet and I found the journals. Mm-hmm. I started reading through them, and honestly, I thought I was reading about someone else because I did not remember a lot of the goings-on back then.
Now, this 70s. Is 70s?
And 60s. Well,
and 60s,
I was a child growing up into the 70s, became a teenager, and that's when, yeah. But it's based on my childhood in the 60s and my teenagers in the 70s and a young woman in the early 80s.
Now, would it be wrong to say, were you born in the 50s?
I was.
Yeah. we talked about this before we came on the air. I was too. We're about the same age, so I know a lot of these things, this whole period you lived through. Now, where did you start this journey?
Of writing the book?
No, the 70s, when you started your insatiable life.
Well, that was in my teens.
Were you in Canada?
I'm sorry?
Were you in Canada?
Yes, I was living in Toronto. And I grew up in Toronto, born in Toronto. Did move to North York, which is just a suburb of Toronto in my teens, and then moved it back down into Toronto in my late teens and lived there for quite a few years.
And by the way, this is the cover for our viewers, and the full title is Insatiable Annie, Reckless and Loose on the Streets of Toronto. That's
right. And that was the 70s when I experienced the free love, the drug use, the drinking, and I guess I think it can resonate with a lot of women who have probably experienced a lot of the same things. Mm-hmm. And I was hoping to resonate with other women my age to want to read the book. And maybe it would bring out, have them remember, all the craziness.
Yeah. As you say, you didn't even remember all that stuff that you did.
Well, I didn't until I read my journals. Yeah. I kept journals since I was a young teenager.
I can't think of what an incredible experience going back to these journals, and you have all these great notes. And
I have a big box full. Wow. I've been writing journals since I was a young teenager. Mm-hmm. And I always liked to write. And I always dreamt of writing a book one day, but I never thought I would. Working full time all these years, I don't know how people do it who are authors and work full time.
Yeah.
It's not easy. No. So when I became retired, I had a lot of time on my hands, and I guess I took advantage of it. And being an older woman, I no longer have a lot of the fears that
Yeah.
I had as the younger person. So I'm kind of fearless now. And writing the book, yes, I have to be fearless. I had to be fearless because it's very graphic.
Uh,
Yeah, it's kind of graphic with the sex and but it's funny too, it's it also talks about childhood assault, sexual assault and abuse and whatnot. But I think I blossomed, and I think I blossomed kind of early than other girls. And so I was always hanging out with older people and dating older guys. Never really dated someone my old age,
yeah.
my own age at the time. So.
Uh, well, it sounds fascinating. You just kind of a blurb I read on the book talks about, and maybe some people don't realize this, but there was a time before computers and cell phones and things like that, and it kind of tells what life was like in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. In a city, in a big city.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it does. It
Now,
does.
now, by the way, I want to say I want to switch to this other slide because I have actually your web address and your Instagram. It's on the screen right now. If
Mm-hmm.
people go to, by the way, your name's Ann Clarke, but your author name is A.M. Clarke. That's if you're going to
That's
go to
correct.
find this on Amazon.
Or they could Google Insatiable Annie. It will come up
Insatiable
too.
Annie. Actually, that's how I did find it on Amazon. But your web address is A.M. Clarke, just like your author name, amclarkebooks.com. What will people find there?
Well, I haven't been working on it like I should, but and there's several things I want to add to it. But right now, it tells you a little bit about me and about the book. It has I've uploaded the Kirkus Review that I received, which is very favorable,
That's good.
and also an interview I did with a local paper.
Yeah, I'm dying to read this book because, like I say, the era
Right.
mirrors my era. And
Exactly. And it's not just for women. I mean, I have, I'm a woman and, I know that a lot of women can relate, but I think men would enjoy it too. I know that some men, uh, particularly relatives, don't want to read it. Blame them. I know I've changed all the names.
I take it.
Yeah. So I don't want to hurt anybody,
But still, it's very
but
brave
men don't really want to read it.
it's very brave to put all this stuff down, to admit all this stuff and to put it out there for everybody to see.
I know. My dream was never to write a memoir.
Yeah.
Never. I always thought I would write a book about what I enjoy, which is murder mysteries
Yeah.
and uh, horror and true crime books. All
Yeah.
those I enjoy, and I've read growing up. I've read I've stuck to that genre more or less. But when I read through my journals, I thought, maybe this could be the book I've always wanted to write. So I did.
It's a great place to start. Now, you wrote the journals by hand, of course, I would imagine.
Of course.
And
Of course.
started writing the book. Did you do it on a computer?
Yes, I read through all the journals and then transcribed them on the computer in files chronologically.
Uh-huh.
So it was easier then to go back to the files and take from, and I still have more files. And I thought, well, maybe I would write another memoir, but I don't really want to. I want to do something different this time.
So the writing, when you said, I'm going to put this into a book, what was the period? What was the time period? How long did it take you to do that?
It took me once I had the files on the computer, it took me a year.
A year. That's good.
Well, not even, maybe a
Yeah.
few months.
Yeah. Once you got them on the computer, then you're able to
Yeah,
copy,
and then I
paste.
contacted Region Press, and I needed their help because
Yeah.
I don't know anything about publishing
The whole
publishing a
publishing
book.
thing,
So.
yeah. Now, so you have the files on the computer. You grab, you copy this, and put it here. And you can move it around on the computer.
Oh yes, I mean, it's the words from the words I wrote as a teenager. I elaborated as an adult, so
Hmm.
it's but all the stories are facts.
Intact.
The
And
stories are facts,
now, were your journals
definitely.
dated? Did you have to figure out
Oh
the order?
yes, I had journals. Oh, I should. Too bad I don't have them. I put them
Yeah.
away, but
I just love to
I
talk to authors about their process, their organization, how they went about it, and I just what a gift that you did those. Gift to your older self that you did those when you were young.
yeah. It was very therapeutic for me. I found that writing, and I still do. I still write, journal. I still journal. I find it very therapeutic
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
whole life, and that's probably why I started writing at a young age.
Some young kids get a diary. They start their diary. I tell
I
you,
started with the
yeah.
diaries, and yes, diary, little, yeah, with the zipper, Yes,
Um,
I have those.
when I was reading about this book, I said, "Man, this kind of sounds like a movie." Any thoughts of that?
I know. Oh, I think it would be a great movie.
Yeah,
I think it would be, but I have no idea.
yeah.
Um, but hopefully, maybe someone will see it or read it one day and say, "No, this might
Uh,
be."
and I know you wrote it and think, well, people, women, maybe this age, women who went through the same things, but who else should be reading this book?
I think younger women. I think even younger women can relate. I think. I think even though that it's been decades, I think every woman goes through the same kind of not maybe not the
Hmm.
experiences per se, but maybe the feelings and the anguish and the
Yeah.
joy. You know, I think we
Well,
all experience that.
well,
So.
I'm reading it, Anne. I'm going to read it.
Oh, I hope you do. I hope you do.
I just got so excited when you were talking about the '70s, this and that, and I thought, oh, I know what was going on in
Yeah.
those days. So, not that I partook in any of the,
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
if I did, I'm certainly not going to write about it while my parents are still around. So,
Yes. Well, my mother, she didn't want to read it. My father is passed, but she didn't want to read it, but she's proud of me anyway.
good for you. Well, it's a giant accomplishment to get through that,
She
get it
does want to hear
written.
about all the boyfriends.
Yeah. By the way, did you have trouble finishing, like putting the pen down and saying, I'm done, I'm not going to write anymore?
Yeah, I don't really particularly love the ending, but it's kind of like I think it maybe people would think, okay, well, maybe she's got more to say.
Yeah.
Maybe she has more to say.
Well, there is an ending because
Um,
here you are
it
on
had
it.
to end though. I mean,
Yeah.
after 515 pages,
Yeah.
and that's a big book, you
That's a big
know.
book. Yeah.
But yeah, and it wouldn't be as big next time.
There you go. Yeah,
It
there
wouldn't
is a
be.
good ending. There is a happy ending because here you are with a published book. You're on internet television worldwide, and here's Ann Clarke still, having a good time and surviving.
I definitely have a good time. Oh, my life is very joyful now.
Yeah.
So
By the
I do a
way,
lot.
you're in Toronto, Canada. Does it snow there?
Not today. It's 15 degrees Celsius today.
Yeah. We don't know Celsius.
Yeah, it's crazy. This weather is
Yeah.
crazy.
We only know Fahrenheit, and we don't know all those
Oh,
liters and stuff
okay, that
here.
would be 30, no, not 30, I'd
But it
say
does snow
in the
there in
20s.
Toronto.
Yes, it does. We haven't had snow yet, though. I don't know if it's climate change or what's going on, but we've been very fortunate this year.
Yeah,
But we will have more snow before it ends,
oh, it's just getting,
definitely.
yeah. And is there some kind of giant space needle there?
Uh, I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, I thought there was a structure like a space needle or something like that.
Oh, do you mean the CN Tower?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Um,
Down in Toronto, on the waterfront.
on the water, that's right. Anne, I sure enjoy talking to you, and I'm so excited. I am going to read this book, and I think it's an exciting thing for people my generation, and hopefully younger people get a lot out of it too.
I really do. I really want to. I really hope
Um, now,
it opens up and people will.
yeah, any last thoughts for our viewers?
Um, well, I know that I don't even know if I have another book in me, but I do. Have been thinking about writing a movie script,
Nice.
maybe based on the 70s. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
you lived it.
or write comedy because I love comedy.
Your comedy,
So
yeah. All right,
yeah,
Ann Clarke. A.M. Clarke is her author name. Find her book on Amazon or
with an E, Clark with an E.
Clarke with an E. A.M. Clarke
Yes,
with an E.
yes.
Ann Clarke. Thank you, Ann. I really appreciate you
Thank you so much
taking the time to
for the
talk to me.
opportunity.
And I'm just going to leave up on the screen for a few minutes your book cover and your contact info, and just tell our viewers, go buy a copy, buy 5 copies, give them away. That's what I love to do. I love to give away books. So we will be
Wonderful.
we'll be back with more authors right after this. So don't go
Okay.
anywhere.